Test. Sweet. Hello. No. I'm here. Sweet. Okay. Happy Tuesday. Lauren G is here. Sweet. Correct height. There. Okay. I look like a guy that wants to get the band back together. Hey Rita. Rita, sweet. It's always nice when you can make it live. Lauren, Jackie, Jules, sweet. Carla's here. Who else we got? Let's see. Jackie, I always appreciate your check-ins about the music and everything. Jennifer, welcome. Louisa and Claire, sweet. I know it's hard for Louisa to make the live ones. That's nice. And if you're watching on replay, you can always chime in and say you're here. I do read the comments. I don't always respond to them, but I do read them. And anyway, yeah, so, oops, I don't have my magic lights on behind me, but whatever. So I am interested in your input for tonight's class because I was thinking we would do kind of a notes from my practice class and sort of jump all over the place, and I actually have notes from my practice because I have actually been back in a practice, and it feels really good. My yard gets, oops, I forgot to start my. This is so critical for your enjoyment. Let me make sure I stay in 2 minutes here. Anyway, my yard gets about 2 hours of direct sunlight. Well, there's this one spot that gets about an hour and a half of direct sunlight a day, which is perfect for my practice time. And it just means I have to be there at the same time every day, which is a little tough for somebody like me. But I've been doing it, getting some sun, and it just feels good to be back in my hoop practice again. And if you haven't kept up, or of course you haven't kept up, but I've been feeling horrible. My 2023 so far has been not feeling good. That's the theme. And even I thought that like if I took 90 days off, I would be able to focus on my health, but my health actually got worse. Not because I stopped drinking, but it just happened to get worse. And so I've been to a doctor's, and so it is nothing life-threatening. The consensus seems to be that I have long COVID, and I've hit that point of life where you start to develop allergies to everything, and it sucks. And so I was having like what could become anaphylactic reactions to something, and so I'm going to an allergist. Apparently they don't have to stab you a million times anymore, but I'm going to an allergist who is hopefully going to point me in the direction of what it is that I'm exposing myself to that creates these reactions. But, all right, sweet, I have 17 seconds to finish this story. It was coffee that triggered coffee didn't trigger, but coffee was the one constant in both of my reactions last week, where if you didn't know, I got, all of a sudden I got rashed up all over, hives or whatever you call it, but it was like this like really weird looking rash just went all over my body twice last week. And the one constant in it was that I was drinking coffee, and so I have not had coffee in 7 days, and I'm probably going to have a cup of coffee tomorrow, but I just want to tell you that if you've ever thought about giving up coffee, I can honestly tell you it's really not as hard as you think. Like, I don't know why you would need to give up coffee, but if you've wanted to, I found it really incredibly easy. The hard part is when you would normally drink coffee, which for me is always the morning. So the hard part for me was just getting through the morning time. But I mean, I am a coffee addict. I have an expensive coffee maker. I mean, I used to show up to all my workshops with coffee. I fucking love coffee. So, but I haven't had it in 7 days. I haven't had any caffeine in 7 days. And I'm not anti-caffeine. I'm not anti-coffee. I just got spooked and I just thought I would quit it. And I'm surprised at how easy it's been. So sometimes, whether it's coffee or something else that, like I know you guys have watched me give up alcohol several times. You've watched me give up other things. And it's actually, once you do it with one thing, it's really not that hard. And it's kind of cool to try it, like to play with your, like to allow there to be a control and an experiment going on, and to maybe, like, if you're saying, like, like 7 days without sugar or 7 days without coffee or whatever it is. But I'm not preachy. I'm not preachy. Y'all know that. I'm just saying that, like, I can't believe it. Like, I mean, more than beer, I love coffee. And like, to be able to go 7 days without it, um, you know, it's a different kind of release than, say. Okay, so you probably have noticed that I do not have anybody with me in studio tonight, so it is. Yeah, coffee can. I'm reading your notes, y'all. Sorry, coffee can. Yeah, you're allergic to beer. Yeah, there is a fascinating article that I wish I. All right. Shit, I'm running too long. There's a fascinating article that was written. I think it was in the Atlantic or somewhere, which was about how coffee may have won the Civil War for the North. Because they stopped coffee shipments to, somehow they created like an embargo of coffee to the southern region, and then in, like, some of the final battles, they charged, in the early morning hours when coffee would have been so critical. And I don't know if it's like, I mean, it's true, but I don't know how, like, significant this thing was. But coffee's a trip. Try organic. Okay. Allergic to alcohol. Yeah, of course you can suddenly become allergic to things too, which is, probably everybody and their brother but me knew that. My mom was, like, allergic to everything, and so honestly, I think I kind of had a sort of cynicism towards allergies, which is really lame to say, but I think I just did, and this has really put me in my place. um, yeah, well, I guess that's what Zyrtec's for, doing both anyway. All right, let's hoop. Um, all right, I'm gonna play a spoken word thing that I've played for you guys before, but I just feel like starting with it today. And unless you have, oh, I never finished that. If you have suggestions for something you want me to cover tonight, I've got my whiteboard ready, and I'll take suggestions, of course. But we're going to do some things from my practice, and this one's going to be basically my theme tonight is about getting back into flow. But so anyway, this is going to be our spoken word sway. Again, all the cameras are going to be on me, which is kind of weird, but uh, it won't be me talking. But I really like what this guy says, and I've played this for y'all before, but I like to come back to stuff like this.
Right now, when we talk about themes like goodness, compassion, generosity, they're considered to be weak. They're considered to be irrelevant. And right now, when we talk about themes like goodness, compassion, generosity, they're considered to be weak. They're considered to be irrelevant. And I think what's happening now is that we realize that actually these themes are incredibly powerful and potent, that they are the sources of our survival. If we as human beings don't receive love and compassion, if we don't have a sense of our own dignity, and if we don't have a sense of our own worthiness just to live, it is very difficult just to get out of bed. So we're at a very important point where really we have ecological issues and economic issues, but to a certain degree, the most important global issue is that of human nature. How do we regard ourselves, and how do we regard others? And right now we're at this very point where we kind of almost have thrown in the towel, saying that it doesn't seem quite possible. So part of the notion here is that can we create a good society? Can we live together? And what tools are we going to use? That is exactly, I believe, with inquiry and meditation and self-reflection that we're doing this period. And I would really just like to invite you. I've learned that telling you doesn't work, by the way. So I'm just going to express, and then I invite you to join in the inquiry. And it is very, very important to realize that this notion of human goodness is not a superficial thing. but it comes from a deep sense of incredible spiritual depth. At the same time, the message innately is that this notion of human nature can be a socially viable principle. And that another way to look at it is that the notion of goodness sometimes gets offset by badness. But the notion of goodness, and therefore it has the notion of basic goodness. And the notion of basic is that it is a kind of a fundamental quality, an innate quality. And so playing around with language, another word that I like to use and contemplate is basic worthiness. That each human being is worthy, that we are inherently worthwhile, and there's a level of respect. At the same time, the notion of completeness. Human beings are complete. So I believe what we're trying to do, ladies and gentlemen, is put the human being back together.
Audible breath in. If you're ready to grab your hoop, you can go ahead and grab your hoop. I'm kind of enjoying blindfold sway. But this will be an opening movement track for you. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. I invite you to remember to dance. That seems to be the theme in my practices this week. Remembering to dance. I love you, Cameron. Oh, hey, Jordan. Sweet. For getting back into flow are important for me right now. Okay, cool. Oh, coin flip workshop. Cool. Balancing. Okay, looks like balancing and getting back into flow. I should write this down before I forget. Okay, so while I'm writing all this down, I wanted to talk about the experience of getting back in my practice and everything that has, well, we need to get off the Hollywood there, everything that has been going, that goes through my head. And so I've been having some thoughts about practice in general. So as a theme, we'll talk about getting back in practice. And then as a technique, we'll talk about balancing some, which I've been doing a lot lately. So this is kind of cool. If you want to add to this list, just let me know. Okay. Actually, let me put this. It would blow you away how easily I forget. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna for our first exercise tonight, we are going to talk about grip. This is something I was playing with in my practice today, and I think everybody has different accesses into their hoop practice. For me, the one that I forget all the time, but that's really important, is that just doing it is good for me. That there are things that the hoop practice does that even at the time they seem boring, or they don't seem eventful, or they seem fun but not significant, or whatever, that it's still doing this thing to me. And I am absolutely positive that if for me to get back into the health that I want to be in, that the hoop is going to have to get me there. And I really do believe in hoop health. And it's easy because what we do is, so we're going to work with grip strength. It's easy because what we do does have like a sort of showy nature to it. There is a sort of built-in sort of exhibitionist, or not, you know what I mean. There's a built-in sort of, well, it's a visual art, right? So you need viewers, and that can be built into it. And when something like an art form that kind of needs a viewer to be an art, it's easy to think too much about what the viewer is seeing and not enough about what you're feeling. Because I'm not a performer, but even me, I can still get into that same trap. And so what's been fun for me in my practice has been using grip and grip strength, and we sort of talked about this last Saturday, but using it to kind of create cool angles. I've got some songs. We're going to switch over to SoundCloud in a second. I've got some songs picked out there. But I was just thinking about in my own practice, there'll be times where I'm enjoying something, but in my head, I'm like, this is absolutely boring for anybody to watch or to witness, or sometimes even for me. But sometimes I'm like, but I bet it's good for me. I bet that 90-year-old me will be glad that I spent some time holding an object perfectly still and perfectly flat. Because the hoop practice is really like preparing us. We're practicing for what we don't see coming, So for this first exercise, I'm inviting you to try super boring but really fun slow samurai, but just grip, changing your grip, feeling your grip strength. It takes some strength to hold a hoop, a 38 out here, and it's a different kind of strength. breath in. Nice, Cameron. It absolutely does. Absolutely. I totally agree with that comment. Um, okay, so if you enjoyed that exercise, you might be a hoop nerd. I enjoyed the hell out of it, but you already know I'm a hoop nerd. But what I thought we would do for the next exercise is actually just give space to work on isolations, and they can be any type of isolation that you want, but just doing them. But I will show you some stuff that like I've been working on in my practice, and you can try it if you want to. If this class gets too arm heavy for you, you could, we'll switch around. Sweet, Louisa. This wasn't the song I was planning to do for this, but let's try it. So I just want to say super quickly, actually, maybe before I play music, one of the ways to really feel an isolate, or no, let me scratch that. One of the ways to feel maybe I think I'm a little dark tonight. Okay. One of the ways to really feel, oh right, I have my trick cam now. Let's see if this works. Okay. This is weird. Okay. All right, but maybe it works. If this helps anybody, let me know, because I need to color it, work on the color anyway. So an isolation, right, would be just any type, or not just any, but like moving this around. The isolation is because I'm trying to move the hoop so that the visual center point of this circle stays the same, regardless of where my hand is. The center of the circle is staying the same. And so what I was playing with today, and for our, you can practice this if you want to. We're going to work on isolations. Was this old school move that we've done several times, where you are letting the hoop. People kind of naturally do it anyway, but you let the hoop fall onto the back of the hand. And then if I travel with my arm, I create an isolation. So it's kind of like, this is no isolation, basically. This is just a swing. But if I allow my arm to travel from one side of the hoop to the other side, doing the same thing, but it's just traveling. This time I'm pushing up into the hoop, and you'll feel like the strain will kind of like coolly, it kind of mirrors the. So that's the isolation. I'll put some music on so you're not bored. Nama, bless up. Good to see you, brother. So anyway, you can do any kind of isolations that you want to, but what I was working with today was this movement here and moving on the back, and then kind of using that. It's a sort of tricky isolation, but it's a good one, where you're using this feeling where the hoop rolls onto the back of your hand and then your bottom hand carries it around. This isn't how I normally do isolations, but this is one way to do them. Okay, so we'll do isolation heavy song. Happy birthday, Cassandra! Thanks for joining us on your birthday. Just imagine you're isolating the hoop right now as you drive. Your steering wheel. Actually, maybe don't isolate the steering wheel right now. Maybe that's okay. So that's the worst advice I've ever given anyone. But I mean, does anybody else like ghost hand on the steering wheel sometimes? Does your flow art ever show up in your ghost hand? This is a little switch routine. We've done this one before, but this camera sucks. But we've done this. There we go. But I can bring the hand over here, and instead of going all the way around, I can let it roll onto the back of the hand and then grip it with the other hand. And you can turn this into kind of a cool, like just, you know, this is like when you really need to cool the F out, you know? But these are the type of movements. I like this move a lot. But it's based on the same thing. It kind of has a sort of funky look to it. And all I'm doing is crossing over and then picking up with the other hand. And then over the years, you'll learn to kind of, like, you can bring your hands a little bit closer together. But it's, just to be clear, it's this, boom. This. New move. Okay, nice. All right, you know what? Here's what I want to do. I'm gonna teach this like it's a real class. I'm just gonna throw out some other things, but let's just do one song without a new thing, so you can practice whatever you just discovered. The way this works is you usually find the better move than the one I'm trying to show you when you're trying to learn the move. So whether you learn it exactly like I'm showing or not, it can be really helpful. But okay, all right. Let me stop the music and explain this one. Make sure. You know, let's. I mean, is this crazy like horrible color camera? Is this even working? Okay, so here's the close-up of this. So I'm going to release, and the hoop's going to travel back here, right? That's the one we've been doing. This is the isolation of that guy. Boom, boom, boom. So what's going to happen is when I go, like my thumb is on top right now. It's on the top grip. I'm across the body. When I come across, this time the hand is going to be met with this other hand, thumb up, which is then going to grip the hoop and be allowed to take it back over where this hand grips it. Boom, thumb up, boom, thumb up. And so when I'm coming around, that's where the hand, see how my thumb is up right here? It's going to go, now it's pointing down. Boom. Same thing happens there. All right, does that make sense? This is why I don't teach tricks, because I suck at it. But this is boom, boom, boom. And then once you get the handle on it, you can kind of do some cool stuff with just the feelings and stuff that it, you know, and you can start to add like a swing to it. But this is the move. God, I hope that helped. I did get some sun today, but I don't think I'm this red, for the record. All right, so let's bring some music on, and oh yeah, hopefully let's switch to my iTunes here. I mean, not my iTunes, my SoundCloud. I think, oh, this is the one. Oh wait, no, that's not the one. This is the one. All right, so we're just going to play this song, and you can work on whatever or you can ask me questions. But I just want to do one song of just sort of free kind of study. Oh, actually, it's this song is the one I want to play. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Oh, sweet, Heidi got it. Yeah. Okay, actually, let me show you one more thing because that was what I was going to. As soon as I heard this track, I remembered what I was going to say. So let's just add something to this. And so you can, for those of people that have got it, want something more, like you can pull it over or like, pull it into the switch, but then push it over. And I know this sounds simple, but there is like and I'm not as good as it as some people are, but you can kind of do some cool things in isolations with this move. So it's like I'm making this move across, but then like, at a certain point, I just move the hoop statically. Or a swing out and then you sort of push it. I don't know if that makes any friggin' sense. It felt cool in my practice. Sometimes things are better in practice than they are trying to teach them live, but here we go. I'm going to try to just, instead of explain what I'm doing, I'm just going to demo what I'm talking about. I've always found isolations at the bottom, like we hardly ever do them, but they're fun. They're harder. Actually, let me show you one quick thing. All right. Because when you're doing these, when you're doing these isolations, they can kind of turn into point to samurai, samurai to point. And so like this is me, if I'm trying to do it with the hand on the inside of the hoop, then I'm gripping at the bottom. Okay, the hoop comes through here, and then at some point my hand's going to like switch over, and then I'm going to come down around like this. Now, the reason I was saying earlier that I don't do them like this is that I do my isolation, well, that sucked. I do a lot of my isolations in open samurai, where my fingers are kind of like moving around it. But this is if my hand is inside the hoop, and this is me trying to do an isolation, and they're good work for the body, even if yours don't look that good. They're good work, and I totally recommend trying them. Okay, so but this is what it looks like, and so I'm gripping on the southern arc. Okay, so but then this is what it looks like if I'm doing my hand on the outside of the hoop. I'm gripping on the top, that old this is the move you would teach people if they just couldn't get it. This was called the Cadillac. Oh, sweet, nice. So this is the hand on the outside. So it's on the outside, but this time it's on the top. Right? The top is where it's holding. So when it comes south, it's going to move into point technique, and it's going to flatten out and turn into a point and then come back around, right? It could be on the fingers, it could be on the wrist, wherever. But this is how this isolation works. Do you see what's happening there? Do we need the close-up cam? I hate this close-up cam because it makes me look like a tourist at like Myrtle Beach. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm here, coming around. Do you see what my hand is doing? So I'm on the top. This is that sort of steering wheel thing, or Cadillac move. But then it's going to slip and come up under. Well, I'm not doing it right. Okay, there we go. I just need to look at my hoop and not y'all. Do you see that? Okay, and you can get it slicker than that, obviously. All right, let's play some music, and you guys can play with that, see if you want to try that out. All right, so I'm gonna try to see if I can get in the zone with the move I was just showing you. But this is my hand. The difference is my hand is on the outside. The inside wall of the hoop is staying vacant, right? And it's a balance of like a little bit of grip to hold the hoop up. And both the moves is the same thing. You're trying to develop the grace of the switch is really what sort of helps the isolation stay and look good. There we go. So there's still a little too much drop in mine. That's it. Right? I love that track. It's a good arm workout though. Holy shit. I like to try things in both hands, both currents. Nice, Nama. It's nice to have you here. It really is. It's totally cool. Ah, you got second hand. Sweet. Try to go the other way. Ooh, okay. I definitely feel my second current with my left hand. Yeah, it's not too bad. I can live with that. I can live with that. Just to weave back into what we just did. So like if I'm in this kind of move, like we've been doing these, and then I wanted to transition out of that, I can push. And this is where you can start to create some of those slides and things that we were doing before. In fact, this used to be a whole move in and of itself. Okay, where are we at? Oh my. Okay. All right. Well, we did not talk about balancing at all. I'm so sorry. You can do a cool balance. Sweet. Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate the support there. But there is a cool balance that you can get to, and I was gonna go ahead and bring that up. That especially when you're doing this outside one here, like I'm in the Cadillac or whatever. You know, you can create rolls and whatever, and then you get in this Cadillac, and you can't just roll it into a balance. It might seem a little weird, but like I'm here, and I'm gonna, as I turn it towards me, the hand is going to flip out and you can put it into a balance. Oh, all right. What am I doing here? What was I doing? I was just doing it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, actually, they're kind of easier in the day plane or whatever this would be called in real flow arts. I'm rolling it over, up. Oh, okay. This wasn't what I was thinking about, what I was doing in my practice today, but I can't remember. I kind of like that. Well, that's kind of nice. You know, actually, it might be more, it might be better to think of it like a way to come out of bad balances, or not bad balances, but balances that expire on you. That's the move, but I almost think it's kind of like more valuable to come into like an isolation off of that, or to have like, you know, balance. Okay. All right, y'all. We ran a little late here. Sorry about that. We will just free hoop from here. If you have questions, fire away. Thank you for joining. I will be back on Saturday. Oh, one thing I wanted to say before we space out here is that there is a very good likelihood that I'm going to switch to YouTube only. So if you ever can't find me on Twitch or on Facebook, that's why. It costs money for me to stream to all these at the same time. That's not really a big deal. The money's not a factor, but I think I figured out a way to get the quality. We did a test run a couple weeks ago. It sucked, but I've tweaked everything since then, and I think it's going to be good. So if you ever can't find the class, it's probably that we're doing it only on YouTube, and that may become the way we do it in the future. All right, so I'm going to start this great track once you hear all of it. Thank you, guys. We'll free hoop from here. Nice, Carla. Sweet. I haven't kept up with the comments this much tonight. I'm sorry. But I'm glad you had fun. Now that I'm back in my daily hoop practice, I think classes will get weirder and weirder. Okay. Sweet. Glad you guys have had a good class. Rachel's good to... Sweet. Yeah, sweet. Thank you, guys. I'm going to keep hooping, but I know a lot of you are going to need to bounce, so thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to do this song and maybe another one even, but yeah, maybe this song and one more. Anyway, if you have to bail, thank you guys. Love you. I will see you Saturday. Okay. I'm going to do one more. And thank you guys again. I appreciate it. If you have to bounce, I totally understand. And thank you. I don't think I have any of these songs linked, but they're in my SoundCloud. And I've liked all of them, so you can always look through my likes, because usually that's where the most recent stuff I've, if you want to, that's an option for finding music. This will be the last one, though.
Reflect on what we've been through, or am I just going crazy cause I miss you? Sitting here wishing we could kick it. Just going crazy cause I miss you. We're missing you.
That song is awesome. 2 more minutes, but I want to share this song because I think it's awesome. Oh no! Shit! Damn it! I hate it when I do that. Oh my god. Sorry, y'all. What a flow break. What a flow break. Sorry, y'all. This is where we were.
Or am I just going crazy cause I miss you?
Oh, nice. Elbow throw and catch. That's awesome.
This is more than love. I kept. Thinking about all the happy times. The pieces I kept. How I wish I could turn back time.
Okay, I love that song. Totally beautiful. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Heidi.
I love you.
Thank you,
so
Carla.
much, so much, so much.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Lauren. I hope you're feeling better.
We love you.
Yeah, grief is
So
tough.
much.
It kind of takes the time it takes sometimes.
I think it's very important for us to go through the grieving process and use it to remind us of the beauty of that person and the love that we've shared with them and how they've touched our lives and made our lives more meaningful.
We love you so much, so much, so much, so much, so much.